Can y'all hear me, guys? I don't know how to get this off my screen. Let's see. Finally got my laptop working. Mandy's going to be coming on at, so we're just going to chat a little while until she's ready. Does anyone want to come on? You said y'all can't see me. Let me see how to do this. Yeah, YouTube, I haven't been getting notifications either. No, I don't have the chat slowed down. Is the restriction still showing up? I thought I took that off. Let me see. Let me double check it. I need to go here and then go to there's this thing on my computer screen that I cannot get to go away. No delay. And then under chat, I have it set enable live chat. I do not have the enable slow mode checked. So it should be okay. Oh, I got you. All right, I'm gonna go up. Let's see who else here. Danny, Amanda, Cynthia, Nikki, Tracy, hey love, Christine, Judith, Lady Raiden, Melissa, and Redneck Superman. Nikki, you want to come on? Amanda, you want to come on? Anybody? All right, let's see if I can. Hey, Miss Shannon, get my camera on. There, can y'all see me now? All right, let's go back to the chat. All right, Nikki. I think I already have your email in here. Yesterday, I reset it back to my factory settings. My laptop was so slow, I couldn't get it to do anything. Hey, Miss B. Send link to Twitter. I accept it, but I don't know why I can't come in. Okay, you're going to have to walk me through this. How do I send it to Twitter? I'm gonna let it go. Hey. Hold on, I got to turn it on speaker. Hold on. I got a new phone and I hadn't took the plastic off of it yet because I don't have a screen protector to put on it yet, and I don't want to mess it up. All right. When I'm on here, I have share the permanent link, bookmark, and come back anytime, send invite. But when I go to type your name in here, it's not popping up. It says add names or email. Do I just copy this link and DM it to you on Twitter? I got you on my phone. Call back. Let me answer it on my computer. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to go on Twitter now. Okay. Yo, I'm learning. I'm learning. And I'm going to do a chat, a live stream one day this weekend with my daughter, and she's going to talk about coping with death. See if I can remember my password. Oh, save. Now messages. Nikki. All right, let's see if I've got it. Hi, Rebecca. Black Pepper, how are you? Miss Mandy is coming. She will be on next.
You there? Can you hear me?
All right, I'm gonna take this one out. Hey, Jillian.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can y'all hear Nikki in the chat?
I think there's an echo.
It might be. Let me go.
Oh, look, I have my finger.
Huh?
The cut went away.
Your cut didn't go away. Put your Band-Aid back on it.
I can't find it.
Find him another Band-Aid. What did you write all over yourself?
I don't hear echo. Do y'all hear echo in the chat?
I don't hear it anymore.
It's open, so there shouldn't be one. Can everyone hear Nikki?
Hello? I can't see
Hey,
chat.
is that Reedy or Reggie? Someone. It says very low, Nikki. It's good now, says Tracy.
So can y'all hear me or no?
Yeah, Tracy said it's good. Amanda said it's good.
Okay.
Hi, Kaylee. Hi, Booker.
Where's Mandy?
Who?
ATX Mandy.
Mandy. She'll be here in like 45 minutes.
I don't know if I can stay on that long, but I'll hang out for a minute.
She
Literally.
said at 6:30. We were going to do it 5:30 my time. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and send her this link so she'll have it. Y'all, I am learning. I am proud of myself. I don't know how to do any of this on my phone, though. I can accept to go into a chat, but to start one or send a link on my phone, I have no idea how to do it.
You can't. I don't think you can start. Well, you might. You mean you can. I think you can if you don't want to go live, like if you don't want it broadcast on YouTube. But I think you have to be on your on the computer to get it set up on YouTube to broadcast.
All right, I'm trying to find my chat now. My son woke up in the middle of the night last night throwing up, so I think he has strep. So I've got to take him to the doctor tomorrow. Then I got a phone call yesterday afternoon. They put my grandma in the hospital.
Oh,
So I had to run up there. It's been a mess. How's everyone else doing? Mandy, I sent it to you in Twitter DM. Chicken shit. I did not have beef with TT.
Oh Lord.
I was there making reservations for my daughter's prom, and I happened to run into her. Did I know there was a possibility? Yes, I did. Did I really think it would happen? No, because what are the chances of seeing her within being there 15 minutes?
And I also told you
I've
the night
always
before I was positive she wasn't there. I told you the night before. Well, hang on. I also told you the night before she wasn't there.
right. So I always stayed neutral though, and I always tried to tell her, to ignore it, don't worry about it, because you never know who's watching, and she makes a lot of accusations that aren't true. So but I don't know where she got. I mean, she was fine when I saw her, and then somebody called her, and apparently they put that aggressive thought in her head. But long story short. And I got sent a thing today, y'all. Who slams the door on CPS? That was crazy. Nikki, I don't see you
Oh,
anymore.
I'm sorry. I had to mute
Oh,
because
you
Dalen
muted
was
yourself.
screaming because he cut his finger earlier and he took the I'm losing my voice. He cut his finger earlier and he pulled the band-aid off. And he said, "My cut's gone." And I was like, "Keep messing with it."
Thank you, Kaylee. I think she's going to be all right. They want her to. She was having problems with her heart, and they want her to do some rehab, but she's not. She's not wanting to go. But I think we talked her into it to like build her strength back up. This is loud. Try to turn it
Dude,
down.
do not mess with the cut again. Do you hear me? Leave the band-aid on it. Okay, but don't mess. If the band-aid falls off again, come to me. Don't mess with it, or it's going to start bleeding again.
Yeah, you don't do that. I mean, that's going to make the situation even worse. I mean, I would have talked to him. What do you want?
You talking about CPS?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't let him in my house either, but I'd have cooperated.
I mean, I've dealt with them
I don't.
personally because of my stepchildren's mother. We actually ended up getting custody of them. So
Thank you.
it's not that big of a deal.
I mean, I'm all about her rights, and I mean, I'm not gonna tell anybody they don't have rights. You don't let people in your house. I mean, I'm just that way about the government in general, though. You're not coming to my house unless you have a warrant, but I will go outside and talk to you. And there's nothing that I have to hide, but I definitely wouldn't have acted like that. I wouldn't have answered the door being like, "The internet did it."
Right. I mean, she was just rude. And that's the whole thing. I mean, there comes a time you have to take accountability for your actions. And it's way overdue that she takes some sort of accountability.
And what I don't think she understands is that, she's saying trolls called the police the other day, but her neighbors are obviously not okay. They're a little bit upset about it because they're staring at them or whatever. She's complaining about them. So they very likely could have been the one that called. And if the reason that, there being a minor there, the cops are obligated to follow up with CPS.
I
I
mean,
mean,
she just
I
made
don't
it
think a
harder on
troll did it.
herself when she said, go get a warrant or a sheriff. Honey, they don't have to have a warrant. They can roll right up there with the sheriff. I mean, like she said, they have to respond, whether it's true or false.
I mean, I just don't think that a troll called CPS.
Could you
I just,
imagine what that lady thought when she said troll? I mean, she uses that word so much, and I'm like, what?
well, it was like the lady knew what she was talking about.
What?
Like she'd already been told about the
Whoever
whole
called,
streaming
I'm
thing.
sure they gave the background on it.
Yeah, I'm sure the police told her that because she didn't even know that she was streaming. She just said that she was recording, and she said, "I'm not going to talk to you about your minor daughter's allegations while you're streaming to an audience." So that told me she already knew something about the situation, and I mean, and she said she got the notification to come out there like 72 hours ago. And wasn't that about the same time the cops got called out there? So I would assume that the cops had to follow up with CPS because it's required.
She said that they got the call 2 days ago and that they have to follow up within 72 hours.
So it was probably CPS the police doing their obligation to notify.
Exactly, Kaylee. You don't live stream everything. I mean, like she said, you know, she kept saying 17 and a half. It doesn't matter. She's still a minor. And she's not emancipated yet. I was emancipated. And you have to go in front of a judge to get that done.
It's just sad.
It is, the whole situation. And I mean, you know, she put that live. Imagine somebody, a stranger out there watching who didn't know the backstory with her and happened to stumble upon that video. Of course, they're going to be concerned. And I want to just make this point really quick. I hear, you know, about the parent slapping a child in Walmart. Okay, that is physical. It's not against the law to spank your child. It is against the law to use any object to spank your child. You have to use your hand. And let me tell you something. Yes, I spank my children.
That sounds like a child's defense.
That's like, they respect you for that when they get older. Okay. But you know, there is physical abuse, but there is emotional, mental abuse, verbal abuse. It's still abuse.
I'm telling you, my ass whippings, I don't remember as being as bad as when I got a really stern talking to. I remember that shit more than I do my ass whippings.
I don't, how do I make
if it hurt my feelings.
How do I make it open? LOL. Nikki, can you help Mandy?
Yeah,
Nikki walked me through it. Apparently, I sent her the link, but she's saying that it's not. She says, how do I make it open?
Hang on, what does she mean? How does she make it open?
I don't know, maybe the Hangout.
You sent her the same link you sent me?
Mm-hmm.
Is she in here?
She's in the chat. Mm-hmm.
Is she on her phone or is she on the computer?
I'm not sure. Yes, she did, Kaylee. And I mean, a lot of people have that recorded, you know. All they had to do was send that in an email to them, and that's their proof right there. She's on her phone.
Okay, she has to have the Hangouts app, but I think she's already got the Hangouts app.
She's saying it goes to app install.
Did she get a new phone? Then she's got to have the Hangouts app to do it on her phone. But I thought she had done it on her phone before.
She's got that app on her phone, she's saying.
Did she click app install or join call? Because there's usually two options.
Did you hit join call, Mandy? What do you mean, black pepper? Yeah, she was not hit, guys. She was. I did not hit her. If I wanted to hit her, trust me, I'd have run her ass over.
It also depends on what time you're listening to her. Sometimes you did hit her, sometimes you didn't. Sometimes she ran into the car.
Yeah, like I've heard that. She said supposedly or whatever. So she knows. Yeah, you don't put everything out on live stream. You really don't.
But you know, when you were saying about how she's always bringing up what other parents are doing, like I saw somebody slap my kid in Walmart or whatever, or at the store. Okay, just because there's a mother shittier than you doesn't make what you do less, or doesn't make what you. I mean, that just means that there's like a different level of it. Like just because like somebody let their kid die in a hot car, does that mean that the person who whipped their kid in Walmart are they the same? Are they on the same scale as shitbag?
She's just trying to justify her actions, is what
like
that is.
That's what my kids do when one of them gets in trouble. Well, my brother did this. I'm like, you still broke the rule, though. Like, I don't care what degree you broke the rule. Like, you still broke the rule. And like, she shouldn't be worried about what everybody else thinks. She needs to be worried about what she thinks, what her daughter thinks. That's the only thing that she should be focused on right now.
Is there a way that I can send her this link? If I go into Hangouts on my phone, how can I send it to Mandy on her phone?
I mean, that's what you just did to me, and I accepted. But you can try whatever you did for me, because I got the request on my phone. But I don't understand why it's telling her to install. Because if it's telling her to install, she needs to make sure like Hangouts doesn't need an update or something.
Can I get a nest house?
Can you calm down? And not right in a second. I'm doing something. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Get that.
Y'all, I'm going to try something.
Can stay longer than we was one yesterday.
1 hour. Okay, I'm back. Try to send it to Mandy the same way you sent it to me the first time, and see if it'll let her go.
I don't know how I did that the first time. The first time my cell phone rang and I answered it off of there.
No, but you had sent me you had sent it to me somehow that I got like on my Hangouts app. I got a notification that said you've been invited.
Go into your Hangouts app and see if you have. I just sent you a message through there, so you should be able to go in through your Hangouts app and click it now.
Are you there?
There you are.
Let me put it on my dashboard. Because I got to go over this bridge, you guys, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to get over this bridge.
We are here for you.
This bridge.
We're here
made it over this bridge. I made it.
I'm so glad we can be supportive.
This bridge I go over every day. No, I was, I've been, the last couple of days, I've been out of it, but when I saw the water in the face, and I know I'm kind of breaking what I said, but that water in the face.
I didn't see it, and I asked
it wasn't real. You can't tell me if some man didn't, especially as off the wall as she is, if a man threw a cup of water in your face, you would not like immediately out of reaction, like lunge at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's normal kind of crap for them, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't know how much of it's real anymore.
I don't know how much of it's real, but it has real life consequences on people that are not into the game.
Exactly.
So if it is a game, then she might want to let some of these people know before she gets those letters in the mail and the police come back with that warrant.
Well, how many times can you get the cops called to your house before you start getting in trouble for that kind of stuff?
Well, she has to be breaking the law.
But I mean, when they call because of those things and they show up and there is a domestic disturbance going on, I mean, don't they eventually have to do something?
Yeah, they call CPS and tell them to follow up.
Oh, and that's what happened.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't understand how, I don't know. I just don't understand how she doesn't. That's why lately I'm like, it's got to be, most of it has to be BS, because how it, unless there's just really good acting going on, it's got to be real. But I can't reconcile. You know how most of the time your gut tells you, but it's like.
Did you just say really good acting?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Is it like really good? I mean, it's either really, really good, believable, like that Juggernaut thing. Remember that when that went on?
But like we know she's faking half of what she says, and that's not really good acting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. But I did today. This is like, I've been having like really bad, like the degenerative disc pain and stuff, and like the cravings are really bad because of that. So I kind of decided today, I think I'm going to get back on the Suboxone, but I really don't want to. So it's kind of interesting we're having this
I thought that
conversation.
you, okay, catch me up. I knew that you had weaned yourself off of it, but then you started back, right? So
and then I had gotten off of it again, and that, but I got back on it shorter than I was off of it this time. This time I made it a couple weeks. And it's just, I don't know. It's, the cravings are bad because the pain is bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the lesser of the two evils. And at least I know if I'm taking it, then there's no way, you know I have to have a kick-ass program and I have to do that. But at the same time, I also have the safety net that an opiate's not going to work anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that component of it, man, it's life. The stuff normal people don't have to deal with, man. You know what I'm saying?
How long have you been off of alcohol and opiates and on just Suboxone?
I have been off of alcohol for 5.5 years, and the opioids was like June would have been a year, but then I got into benzos real bad. So my sobriety date is September the 14th off of everything. With the exception of the Suboxone or whatever. But yeah, I haven't had a drink in 5.5 years, which is like, no matter what, I think I knew with as much as I was taking, if I was drinking too, I would have died. I just knew you know what I'm saying? Like I knew, and somehow the craving for the alcohol didn't come back, and I don't know how. But I also thought, there's no way I'm going to survive, because sometimes I would wake up in the morning and have, you know how you have that bronchitis feeling where like your lungs are tight or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I would wake up with that feeling sometimes after taking a lot of the oxycodone, and I would realize that I had actually really depressed my respiratory system.
You
and
talking
that's
about
scary.
like after you inhale water, that tight feeling?
Yeah, like when you kind of like your chest feels a little bit raw when you have bronchitis, and it just kind of hurts to fully inhale. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I would wake up in the morning and have that until I got moving. And I would be like, son of a, because that's what they do, is those opioids and even methadone and stuff, they depress your respiratory system. So a lot of people, that's what happens, is they end up smothering because their lungs quit working.
That's
So
awful.
I kind of knew, like, but then you get to a point where you've kind of like given away your soul. So you are like, well, I'm probably going to die, but like, you don't think straight anymore. You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't
I mean,
care.
Laura probably, you don't care, because you're like, you don't know, like, everything that you ever held dear is like numb. I guess that's the best way to describe it. You're completely numb. Like I could watch stuff on YouTube, like I don't know if anybody ever watches like the jiggers or whatever from Africa. I could just sit there and watch that for hours, of these like them cutting on people, like doing this, like whatever. You would have to know what it was, and not be shocked. And my husband would be like, how can you just sit there and watch that? But it's like you're so numb, you like almost want something to get through that, because you don't feel anything. So it's an emotional and physical painkiller. You know what I'm saying? Like it kills everything. So it's like crazy, but anyway, that's what that's about. Laura, I don't remember what what was your, if you don't mind sharing, what was your main drug of choice?
Mine was, to start with, it was Oxycontin.
Okay.
And then I went to the Xanax, and
Okay.
I would take like a Percocet or two for my pain so I wouldn't get sick. But I was taking like 5 Xanax bars a day.
Gee, did you like forget everything? Like I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
I would get so jacked up, I would lose entire periods of days.
Someone's at the door.
Is this like an NA meeting and I'm not the counselor?
No, you're the counselor. You're the normal one, girlfriend. No, I was just covering that because it was kind of going on today, that I was like, man, let me decide whether or not I'm going to do this again or what have you. And it's hard because it feels like a defeat. But yeah, like with
You shouldn't feel
benzos,
that way.
man.
You should do what you have to do to feel better.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not saying do what you have to do to like give into the craving and numb yourself and be like in your addiction again,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you
But
should
like,
do
Well,
what you yeah, like
I
you
was gonna
shouldn't have to
say,
suffer.
Chad, he stayed on his maintenance meds for 3 years,
did
and
he
you
have
know
a
they
hard
said
time coming off?
no, he didn't,
Oh,
but he
okay.
did it. You know, like it was like the last year he started, you know, tapering down. But you
Yeah,
know, they told him it takes years for your body to heal that damage, and then you know for you to reestablish that normal lifestyle.
right, right. Yeah, we do some. Holy shit! I have 8 miles left before my car is completely dead, out of gas. But that's I really pushed it to the limit this time. Yeah, but you're right. What you do to your brain is like takes, and that's why they say replacement therapy is the best way to go because your brain is so like out of whack.
So you just got to be addicted to get your receptors screwed up, or just taking them every now and then
Um,
gets them screwed up.
well, no, I mean, it's anybody who does a prolonged period of like opioid, use is going to do that because it's every time you up your dose, you're creating more receptors, and your receptors are what regulate everything in your body. So that's why you get dope sick because your receptors don't know what the hell to do anymore. There's so many of them, and they're so used to being fed and, sending that rush of dopamine because we all have regular dopamine, but it's increased with that. And what's funny is people think like when you take a Tylenol or a painkiller or something, it actually is killing the site of the pain. It doesn't. All it's doing is telling your brain you're not in pain. That's all it's doing.
The only pain medication that actually does anything for like your physical
Uh-huh.
pain to make your pain go away is a NSAID or something that
Right.
will
You're
make the
exactly right.
inflammation go away. So
And
like
that
ibuprofen,
targets the pain. Yeah.
yeah, that actually treats the pain and doesn't tell your brain you're not hurting.
But see, the loophole I had was because I had a gastric bypass, I can't take anti-inflammatories because I can get a GI bleed.
Oh yeah.
So what happened was the Oxycontin wouldn't absorb because I don't really have stomach acid anymore. So that's why they gave me so much rapid relief because I couldn't. But it was the doctor that was naive and didn't know anything about me. So it was the perfect storm, really. You know what I'm saying?
I remember when Oxycontin was popular because everybody I know got addicted to it. All of a sudden, it came out of nowhere, and it was like rich people
I'm gonna.
heroin. Not that I'm rich or
Well,
anything, but everybody around me like had money, so they didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like parents' money because they were in college, and
exactly,
then everybody ended
exactly.
up getting addicted to it. And I never tried it. Everybody was like, "Why don't you try it?" And I said, "Because I know me. I put that mess in my nose, or I take that. I'm gonna be on it forever, and I can't afford it. I can't afford an addiction. Y'all go on about your business.
Hmm.
I got college to pay for."
There's an interesting thing on YouTube. You can find it. It's called like OxyContin. The something it talks about how Purdue Pharma went and marketed that it was a non-addictive alternative to rapid release opioids, and fooled all of the pain clinics into thinking that they could
It's
just.
like pure poppy. It's like
There are lots
it's
Hmm.
pure
and lots
opium.
and lots
Hmm.
of lawsuits against Purdue.
Hmm.
And then, you know,
Because
that's when they made the Oxycontin with the whale blubber that couldn't be broke down. But then when they
exactly.
did that, they released the Roxy. So, I mean,
Right.
it was stupid.
Exactly. And that's what I got 180 every 15 days and I still blew through them in a week. So I couldn't, at the end, there was no way for me to even try to maintain. And that was a lot.
I know I have the personality to get addicted to stuff because if I get pain medication for something and it says take one, I take two, and like I'm out
Exactly.
before my injury's over. So like
Exactly.
the fact that I'm too lazy to go to the doctor is probably a good thing.
Well,
That's
it's like
funny.
I
Nikki, you're
thought
hilarious. I'm
yesterday.
too
I
lazy
mean,
to be an addict.
aren't even the only addiction. You can be addicted to the internet. You can be addicted to shopping. You can be
I'm
addicted to your
addicted to
phone.
food.
You just have an addictive personality, and I do. I mean, I did.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of addiction replacement. I
Hmm.
mean, like my thing was shopping.
Yeah,
If
me
I were to
too.
flip this camera around, y'all, I literally could open up probably 2 stores with the clothes that I have, just to
Getting
Yeah.
sell.
Dollar Tree flip flops.
Yeah, my Dollar
But
Tree
see,
flip flop.
mine's definitely shopping, but it's also food. And you know what? I think I would rather quit
Look, that's
alcohol
true.
10 times over. With food is so hard. Overeating is just really, really hard.
Amanda, what's wrong? What's going on in the chat, y'all?
I can't see it.
I can't either.
Can anyone see it?
Unless I
I'm
value your
looking at it.
opinion, I don't care.
Nikki, yo bad.
I
Okay, I have a question.
told you I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
care.
On the very controversial issue, is addiction a disease? In your opinion?
Yes.
I can't answer that because I don't have any experience with it. I think it might be. I think it's a choice to begin with.
Well, see, that's what a lot of people say, that it's a choice and, it's self-inflicted.
I mean, that's just. I mean, but that's just my opinion because I've
But,
not suffered with it. So I can't. I mean, but I'm just being honest. I mean, that's just how I feel like. I feel
okay,
like if you're
everyone in the
prescribed it
chat,
by accident, like if you got it
put
from a
a
doctor.
1 if you think addiction is a disease, put a 2 if you think addiction is not a disease. But I'm going to be honest with you. I personally think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've said, I court ordered my first husband to rehab like 4, 5, 6 times. I don't even remember how many.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, I would have to meet with the doctors and stuff. And they told me that, okay, we got two twos. They told me that if I did not put my children in Al-Anon classes,
Yes.
that they guaranteed me that,
Yeah.
they would end up having some sort of a,
My husband, my son has gone to Alateen. My husband goes to Al-Anon. In fact, he's going tonight. Um, I think it's really important, especially for the people who don't. If you've got it in your life with a loved one and you think that it is a choice, and I'm not saying that it is or it isn't, but I think that Al-Anon or any of those things, it's not all about understanding the addict, but it's about taking care of you know what I'm saying? Taking care of yourself and how you, uh, to relate to things. Because let's face it, when it's a whole addiction if someone is, like you're saying, Laura, if someone is an addict, the whole family has to do this sick dance around,
mhm. It doesn't
But
affect, it affects everyone around them.
is the
Exactly.
addiction itself the disease? I mean, obviously we see it running in the families and things
Well,
like that because they're.
someone look on
But
the
is it the
Centers for Disease.
disease,
I don't know about addiction itself. Look on
or
for the Centers for Disease Control. I'm curious to see what they
is it
actually say.
like a mental disorder that has been that like some kind of mental or personality disorder that the side effect of it is addiction, and then if you open yourself up to it, then that's just also part of whatever else you're dealing with.
Well, I think most addicts and alcoholics normally, from my experience, do have some underlying mental condition because normally they're self-medicating anyway. At least, just that's my experience. I don't know that for sure. But I've also wondered, which is the question, is like, can an alcoholic be created or is it something that you're born with? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I
I
get
think it's
confused about.
genetic.
I do too. I do too.
And I mean, it may not be alcohol. That is something, my dad was an alcoholic. There's many alcoholics on that side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose, yes, when I was younger, I would drink, on the weekends partying or whatever. But that's something, I really tried to stay away from because I was aware of that.
Right. Right. Absolutely. They don't have my watermelon water. They're gonna see me flip my ever loving shit here in a second.
She's serious about that watermelon water, y'all.
I'm about to go white girl crazy on these folks that been here. No, I'm just kidding. But I would be
She's really
just
not
curious.
kidding.
I'm not. I've done it because it's
Okay,
like insane. If you know people are gonna order it, buy it. Damn.
Amber says, I'm an addict in recovery. I don't live like I have a disease. I make the conscious choice to not use daily.
There you
And
Amen.
I
go.
get what you're saying, but once an addict, always an addict. You're just an
Yep.
addict in recovery. It doesn't go away. And that's why I feel like it's more like a disease.
But I think
Mhm.
what she's saying is that she is choosing to not let not let this disease or self-inflicted addiction choose her next step.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think she's denying that she is
Okay.
in recovery, a recovering addict. I think she's
Cancer is a disease. I had
right.
cancer. I had melanoma.
And you
Okay.
didn't choose
I
that.
knew. Well, in a way, I feel I did.
Well,
I
yeah, 'cause
knew
of the sun.
melanoma runs in my family. My grandma had it, and she's
Mhm.
got like a scar this big in her back, 3 inches deep where they took it out. Okay, I'm one that loves the sun. I love the river. I love the
Mm-hmm.
pool. I'm always out in the sun. But did I take precautions to put sunscreen on? No, I didn't,
I mean,
because
and
I thought, I've got
sexually
good skin.
sexually
Well,
transmitted diseases are also a disease, and people make the choice to have unprotected sex, and it's a self-inflicted disease. So I guess
Did
it's
you
one
say
of those
children are a
things.
disease?
Self-inflicted, like sexually transmitted diseases
I
are
thought you
also
said children are a disease, but
no,
people make the conscious effort. And I was like, oh,
no,
that's messed up.
obviously sexually transmitted diseases are
Okay.
also a disease, but people make the conscious decision to be unsafe and practice unsafe
Mhm.
sex and catch it. So I see where Laura's going with that. So that can also be considered a self-inflicted disease if we're going to look. It's all semantics. I mean, really.
I mean, well, and I do believe this. I do believe that you can be an addict or an alcoholic or both. You good? No, I'm
yeah,
good. Thank you.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm
And
I
I
saying,
used to
think
Andy?
that's
binge drink,
where
but
I
I
think
never
that's
had
where the
cravings.
Xanax came in. Instead of me actually, getting a hangover and being sick from the alcohol, I turned to the Xanax for that.
781. I'm
I mean,
trying
I
to go on
used to
mute,
be.
you guys. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I mean, I used to like drink like when I used to work a 7 on 7 off job. I drank 7 on 7 off, but I never craved it when I was working. But I binge drink like crazy.
So basically, when you
So,
had free time
oh
and
yeah, I was
something not to
drunk.
keep you busy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Yes, I
just
wasn't
like
working at the hospital. I was drinking.
in rehab, they tell you people, places, and things. You got to change the people you're around, the places you go, and the things you do.
Oh yeah, that's what I had to do. I was like 23, 24, and I was like, I don't want to be one of these 40-year-old barflies. Like I'm changing my life. Like, and I just decided I was just done drinking. I was tired of going to the bars and stuff, and I haven't been in one in forever. And I've been in bars since I was like 17.
Alcoholism is
Okay.
considered a disease. Is
Well,
also.
and I was going to jump in just real quick. When you had just mentioned you quit drinking, you were drinking like crazy, and then you quit. There is, and this is just from like AA, so this is not like across the board kind of thing, but there are people, and my husband is one of them, that can drink very heavily for a period of time, and at some point decide that they no longer want to do that. Either they outgrow it, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they can literally go back to drinking like a normal drinker.
Right.
And he did that. He drank alcoholic with me for a very long time. And at one point, probably when he was right about 30, he decided he didn't like drinking like that. He didn't want to drink like that. And he doesn't. He can have one every once in a while and be totally fine.
But when I was doing that, I had social anxiety really bad. And so I would pregame and then go to the bar and then get hammered.
Yeah.
Like I think I was only drinking as much as I was so that I could go socialize because I don't like people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would end up, but then I'd get so blackout drunk I'd be mad and fighting everybody. So it was like
See,
I could never find the
I've been.
balance.
that's what I did in the end. I would get shitty drunk and pick fights.
I mean, people can look at me wrong, and I just thought, let's fight about it.
And I know now that you're not 5'2" and whatever it was that I thought before. I thought you were like 5'2" and
I'm not
98
the
pounds or something.
fragile little petite one.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, she's a little spitfire, but she's tiny. And you're like, no, I'm not. That's funny.
Not even close. If I'd
I
have
know.
thrown
It's
myself
like
on Laura's hood, she would have needed to get a new car.
I would have yeah, that was, I can't believe though that, how well, first of all, I have seen it. It is a little bit viral because I saw it on Facebook, but I think it was only on
No,
there.
don't
I
tell
think
me that. Oh my God.
no, not the whole thing. No, not the whole thing. Just the
Actual hit.
Yes. But I'm thinking maybe it was because you know how sometimes if you share contacts, stuff will pop up.
Mm-hmm.
But I just messaged the person. It was actually my cousin. And I said, can you please take that off? There's stuff going on legally. And she's like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is your cousin that didn't know shit about it?
Wow.
Yeah, my cousin. But see, I think sometimes, like, you know, if you're friends with them on Twitter
And then
and
you're,
Facebook, yeah,
yeah.
like it's not like seriously viral. It's just like it just happened to, like when your
Okay,
phone, you install an app, like whatever, and your phone's like, can we have access to all your
recommended.
contacts, your location, everything? And it's like, no.
I keep my Facebook live separate from my Twitter and my YouTube
I do
live.
Me
So
too.
if
too.
you're on my Facebook, you are
I know
very,
you.
very special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
do
why I
that.
was
My
like,
family's not
no.
on my Twitter for the most part. My family wouldn't know. I just have that cousin because when Luna died, she she's one that took opioids like addictively, not really abusing them, but to the point where she took them for a whole bunch of them for a couple of years. And she literally came off of them and she didn't have the terrified fear of the sickness and stuff. And she just went through it and got off of it and has never looked back. But I'm here to tell you that fear of that pill sickness, I guess it's also dope sickness, but I always call it pill sickness, that is enough to like send you to like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, the fear of it.
Well, you know, remember when I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling you about how I didn't think I was a nurse, but I didn't even think about it when I was when I broke my tailbone, and I
Uh-huh.
was like taking them. I
Uh-huh.
was having to take them just to walk around like every 4 hours, and then when my butt healed and I wasn't hurting anymore, I quit taking them, and then I got sick for 2 weeks, and I'm talking about shivering. I was so
And you had
sick.
no idea what was causing
No,
it.
I was like, I was just gonna let myself die, I guess. And
Yeah.
my friend was like, "Well, are you still taking your pain medicine?" And I was like, "No,"
And when your
because
anxiety probably through the roof too, right?
yeah, it was
The
bad. And
anxiety is the worst part.
she was like, "Well, do you still have your pain pills?" And I was like, "Yeah, because I'm not hurting anymore." And she was like, "You need to start back and then wean yourself
Taper
off."
off.
And I was
I
like, "I don't
wonder
know why
how
I didn't
long
think about that." And I said, "I'm just gonna take them
exactly.
again."
How long does it take for your body to be addicted? I've wondered that. How long does it take of taking it around the clock? Or,
Two
I mean,
weeks
like
for me.
Not long at
2
all.
weeks? Okay, I was wondering. I didn't know. I didn't know when I first started taking. I knew I liked the feeling of it, obviously, and I had not taken it for a long time. But when I got the Vicodin, just a small prescription, when I was having a lot of neck pain, I guess it was about 3 years ago now. I didn't know there was a withdrawal. I had no idea. I didn't know it was heroin, basically. So I took all of the pills in like no time because just I did, and then I had no idea why I was like sick. And then I started seeing it was like synthetic heroin and this and that, and I was like, oh, okay,
And when I was taking
that's
them
why.
for my tailbone being broken, I wasn't taking like a lot. I mean, I know that you abuse your medicine if you take more than what the doctor actually prescribes.
Uh-huh.
But like, if it
Right.
told me to take one every 4 hours, depending on how bad I hurt, I may take two. But
Yeah.
we're talking
But
about
see, this
one
is the
every
crock
four
of crap.
hours.
This is the crock of shit, and this is what I found out when I went to detox. Your body starts withdrawing off of opioids after 2 hours, which means the every 4 hours stuff they give you, you're kind of almost sentenced to fail because your body starts crying out for it at 2 hours. So that is the problem. I'm like, oh, and they're like, yeah. So when they say take 1 to 2 every 4 hours, you should, in theory, be taking 1 every 2 hours. And so
Yeah.
that was good to know because it's like I had no idea why, other than I was an addict, I could not make it 4 hours.
Well, the reason they changed the reason they changed it to every 4 hours instead of letting you have it every two was
Yeah.
because when people started abusing it, they put Tylenol in it, like if they thought that would deter them from abusing
Yeah.
it,
That's what the
because it would
purpose
kill
is.
they would kill their liver and kidneys. Well,
Well, addicts don't care.
I was like, no, tell me an addict that cares about their kidneys when they want to die most of the time
I wasn't
anyway.
thinking about my liver or kidneys when I was taking them, or the fact that I was jacking my nose up, snorting them, because I smelled potpourri 24/7. I am here to tell you because I'd
Do you
messed it
know?
up so
Yes.
bad.
My sinuses, I can hardly smell, and it affects my taste from snorting so much stuff up my nose.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
So
we
Speaking
have a
of,
question. We
I need
have
some
uh-huh.
nasal
someone,
spray.
a person is in recovery that is on Suboxone. Do you
Uh-huh.
consider that clean and sober, or you have to be completely off of everything to be considered clean and
No.
sober?
I think that's
Um,
dependent on who's doing it. Like I would never tell somebody they weren't sober if that's what they. I mean, if they were
well, a
in
12
a
a
program.
12-step program is going to tell you that you are clean and sober because we're not doctors. So if a doctor prescribes you something and you take it as directed, that's fine.
And that's
Right.
always been my point. You can use and abuse a medication.
People abuse Benadryl. When I had nothing left, I would abuse Benadryl. I mean, you
And
know what I'm
Goody
saying?
powders.
I'm
I know
here to
people
tell
that
you,
goodies, they eat a
Benadryl
box.
The what?
withdrawals are similar to benzo withdrawals.
Are
People
you
don't even
serious? I was wondering about that.
people don't even realize it, but I've seen it so many times.
Okay, because when we were having ragweed not too long ago, I was having to take, a couple Benadryl every 6 hours or so. When I got off of it, I thought I was going to freaking die.
Yep.
Okay, I'm glad to know that.
So,
That's good to know.
and then I don't even think people know they're addicted to it, but they know. I don't know how they know, but they know that like if they take another Benadryl, they'll feel better.
And
I
that,
don't know why,
to me,
except
that
that it
is to
calms
me,
anxiety.
right. With Suboxone, I don't feel any sort of euphoria or anything from it, but when I'm not taking it, my body wants it. And it's not just physical one. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the body's like, okay, this does what you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy.
It's on your mind.
But yeah, I'm glad to know that about Benadryl. Benadryl is actually in the same category as Vistaril, which is, they use that for anxiety a lot in hospitals because it's,
And
so if you're having a panic attack, yeah, exactly. If you're having a panic attack, Benadryl will actually work.
Well, when my daughter has she has really bad anxiety already, especially since she's
Poor thing.
she's already into puberty, and when it's her time of month, she's like,
God, puberty, blah.
She's crazy. And
You're like, she's crazy.
Yeah, like last night she got up at 3:00 in the morning sweating like she was going through menopause.
Oh.
And she was like, I can't go to sleep. Mama, help me.
You're like, welcome to womanhood, sister. It only goes down here from here.
She was like, I'm starting to feel like you. And I was like, well, I can't give you a Xanax, but you can have a Benadryl.
I remember when my daughter started hers, she was so because I'd always asked her, oh, be sure and tell me or whatever. I was brushing my teeth and she came dangling these underwear in my face. And I'm like, you could have just told me. I would have totally taken your word for it.
She started in the grocery store. And
oh, no, really?
She went to the bathroom and she said, hey, Mom, she didn't care. Like, she has no.
Yeah.
She didn't care.
That's because she's your daughter. She's like, whatever.
She come out. She was on the one end of the aisle. There was 4 men on the aisle, and she's just like, "Hey, Mom, I started. I need some pads. Can you bring them to me in the bathroom?" I was like, "Oh my God! This is her first time. She just she literally just started."
She's like, it's taking care of business. I'm not even gonna. That's hilarious.
She has no modesty.
No, I do believe. I think there's people that are in AA that are on Xanax, and I think they're clean and sober. If it's prescribed by a doctor and you take it as prescribed, then absolutely you're clean and sober. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could have technically not given up my sobriety date for all of that oxycodone. I never took one pill that wasn't prescribed to me, but I took it not as prescribed and I snorted it. And to me, that was definitely, I wasn't sober.
And I think that if a person is taking Benadryl so much that it barely makes them sleepy anymore, and they even carry the liquid kind around in their purse to chug on occasion.
Yeah. Chug it. Yeah, maybe you might have it.
I'm just like, really? Did you just do that?
I have to watch that too.
You're driving down the damn road.
Yeah, I have to watch that too because with Benadryl, sometimes I have to, and I haven't taken it in a while because it's better, but I have to look at it and say, are you truly taking this because you need it with your allergies?
Right.
And it's just because, I'll abuse anything if it changes the way I feel.
And it will make you sick. It's very similar to benzo withdrawals.
That's
I don't
interesting.
know why.
I had no idea that you withdrew from Benadryl. That's interesting.
I don't think I've ever even took Benadryl.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I had a girl that used to come to the meetings with me that would drink a bottle of wine and take 5 Benadryl, and she said she would be so jacked up it was unreal.
Wow.
One Benadryl will make me sleepy, or if I'm taking it to go to sleep, it'll make me sleepy. If I'm taking it for an allergic reaction, it'll work on the allergy but not make me sleepy. But if I take more than 2, I might as well snort a cocaine or something. I'm climbing up the walls.
Ladies, I am at my meeting. I can get back on at 7:30 if we want to regroup, but I'm here.
I need to get off too. I've got to cook.
But I love you girls. I will talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Laura, I need to get off here too because I got to finish cooking.
All right, baby. I will talk
I
with
didn't
you
even need
later.
to stay on that long. Do what?
Okay, I will talk to you later. I'll
All right,
see
bye,
you
doll.
then. All right, bye. If anyone in the chat wants to come on, just let me know. Yes, very true. You know, it was the older, and now there's, you know, kids. I mean, I listen to my scanner on my phone. I have an app on there, and within like 2 hours, there were 16 overdose calls, and one of them was a young lady that 3 different times they went to her, and now they passed a law here with overdose. If they come to you and they give you Narcan, you have 2 hours in jail room alone now, in jail, which I think, you know, is good. Do you have a Twitter, chicken shit? Or put your email in the chat and I can send you the link that way. Christy, thanks. Well, I think with jail, you know, it's just kind of a wake-up call. And the thing with that is, you know, I sent my first husband involuntarily several times to rehab. And the thing is, you can send them to rehab, but until they are ready to get the help, it's not going to do any good. Chrissy, do you have email or Twitter? That's fine, Amber. Well, with them going to jail, you know, they'll think about it. And then a lot of times, you know, they're so high when they do come around, they'll wake up and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm in jail. Yeah, I mean, as bad as I wanted him to get clean, I could not do it for him. You can't do it for him. Just put your email in the chat and I'll send it to you that way. No matter what you try, and I couldn't do it for them. Until they want the help, then I could support them and all that, but that's all I can do. Oh yeah, he was very angry with me when he found out, you know, when the sheriff came and he knew that I had went through probate court to have him sent off. All right, let me get this. Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer?
I'm on a phone.
Okay, let me get this. All right, let me get this. Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy, are you on a phone or are you on a computer? Chrissy Is your name Rebby? Reba? Reeby? How do you say it? Reba? Reba? How do you say it? Reba? 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 Reba I'm checking it now, Nikki. Bye, Misha. Have a good evening. Reby. Okay. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, it's a daily struggle. Daily struggle. And that's all you can do is take it one day at a time. You know, you can't worry about tomorrow or yesterday. I'm trying, Nikki. Let's see. Chrissy, you should have the link. Check your email. Hey, Janice, how are you? Do you have the Hangouts app downloaded on your phone, Chrissy? Oh, you're downloading it now? Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Ambien. I've never been one to take sleeping pills. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever took any. But I don't remember. Was it Ambien or what is it called? Elavil? Something like that. I know my ex-father-in-law, welcome Stephanie, could take it. And it would like make him sleep for days. And he would be walking in his sleep. All kinds of mess. I've educated myself so much just to know I knew what I was talking about. And you know, that's the thing, like Mindy was saying, the withdrawals. I know when my husband, he started the clinic, and that was his biggest fear, you know, him being sick, because like the first few days, like I want to say like the first week, he was still taking opiates with his maintenance medication. And the thing was, he was so scared that he was still going to be sick. He did not want to have to go through those withdrawals. And, you know, he finally got it through his head, you know, I'm going to be okay. And that's what he would say. I'm actually okay, you know, without taking it. I always lock my phone after Ambien. Ambien must be a pretty normal thing they prescribe to help you sleep. Reby, I was just going back to the comments. They are absolutely correct. I see a comment that says the drug dealers hang around the clinics to get people to buy. Yes. When he started at the clinic in Florence, and then we transferred to the beach, and they would be all around. And it actually got to the point that they started putting the county cop out there in the mornings, because they had morning shift and evening shift where you could go and dose. And it's not like, but I've seen a lot of people too going to this clinic for years and years and years, 7-10 years, but you have to work the program. And see, that's how Xanax did me. I could take Xanax and I would like lose 3 days, not even remember what happened until, you know, I might have a conversation and it vaguely, you know, start coming back to me. Wow. And then, you know, even with them sitting out there selling the drugs, you still have that temptation there, but you just got to be strong enough, you know, to say no. I don't need it. Is Misha still in here? I was going back reading. I think she was talking about tramadol. I've heard people taking Phenergan, actually getting high off of Phenergan. Somebody's here.
Okay, so it's chicken chia, but how do I just put my picture on there like the other girls?
You see a video camera?
Do what now?
If you look at your screen, do you see a video camera?
Let's see. No, all I see is your, wait, I do.
You push that.
Okay.
And it'll have your picture pop up.
Okay, yay. Hi, guys.
How are you?
I am good. How are you all tonight?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so I just kind of want to touch on this subject. I do go to a Suboxone clinic. I've been going probably longer than I should. I've been going for probably about 3 years, maybe. But with that being said, I can kind of... You can't do any... Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Chat, can y'all hear?
Oh. X'd out. I don't know if they can hear me or not because my microphone's X'd out.
I just asked them.
Can they? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. They're saying, do you have YouTube up on your phone?
YouTube. I can pull it up right now. Hold on.
You don't have it up? Is it on your TV? They're saying mute your YouTube, but they can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I got it on my Roku. Just a second. I'll mute it. Just a sec.
When you do, it has like an echo when you do that because we're on a delay. They don't hear, like we're talking, it's delayed when they hear us. What you need, son? I can't hear you. What? All right. Make sure you put your dirty clothes in dirty clothes book.
Do I sound better? Hello?
Does she sound better, y'all? Oh. Want to tell him, hey? Yes, ma'am. She said we can hear. I don't hear the background anymore. Do y'all hear it? Oh, you're good. Okay.
So you guys can hear me now? Awesome.
Yep.
I just don't want to cut anybody off. Okay.
Can you see the chat, or you need me to read the chat to you?
Nope. I'm going to go to the chat. As long as you all can still hear me, I'm going to pull up my chat right now.
Okay.
Okay. I got it. Yay. Something new to me. I've never done it. Sorry, guys.
I'm still learning too. It's different on a laptop than the phone. And then it's different when you start your own hangout than just joining one. It's easy just to join.
Right. So do you, BlessThisMesss, do you struggle with addiction, or have you ever struggled with addiction?
Yeah. I've actually been clean, and then let's see, I got clean in 2002.
Okay.
Then I relapsed in 2010. And then I've been clean since 2012.
Good for you. What? Not to be nosy, but what was your drug of choice?
My drug of choice, like before I had my children, it was Oxycontin.
That's a beast.
Yeah, and of course, I started with Lorcet, taking a Lorcet for a headache, and then you get used to it, immune to it, So then I'll gradually, work my way up.
But I definitely can, understand that, because I'm 33 years old. I didn't do my first lower tab and probably till I was about 20. And by the time I was done doing the lower tabs, I was up to, we're going to say, probably about 10, 15 a day. And,
yeah,
I went to a methadone clinic, thought the methadone clinic was like, I was doing good, but in all actuality, every time I came home, I was plumb nodded out asleep on my couch. And then, I kind of tried to be clean, like just 100% sober. That didn't work. So I've, now I'm in a Suboxone clinic, and I struggle with the fact that, yeah, to some people it looks like, a Suboxone clinic, you're clean, whatever. Yes, they can be abused. But it kills me, because I struggle with the fact, am I really clean, or am I just somebody who's going to a doctor who's giving me another drug? You know what I mean? Like, I struggle with that on a regular.
The way that I look at that is, for example, I got ran over by a jet ski. I was on the inner tube and coming around the curve, and there were two jet skis coming towards me, and I just got ran over. Pretty much like getting run over by a car, and they were going about 45 miles an hour. Okay, so of course it messed my back up and everything else. But I think there is a difference in using medication and abusing medication. For example, I had 4 different surgeries when I had cancer. Then 2 days before school started, I just broke my ankle. And they wrote me Percocets. And, I was in so much pain for like the first week that I had to take something. I would literally get lightheaded, about to pass out, because the pain was so intense.
And then that's where the addiction probably begins.
Right. But I knew I had that chance. I haven't took a narcotic in so long, but I use that consciousness, I'm not getting addicted. So when I was able to tolerate my pain, I threw the rest of them out. So it's just, do I consider that a relapse? No, I don't. No. Just like, with my husband, I've told everyone he was a flat out junkie. No doubt about it. But, and he'll tell you to this day, methadone saved his life. He'll tell you that straight up. And it does that.
It will save someone's life. And the Suboxone clinic will too. It's either one or the other, is what I think. If methadone works for you, good.
See, and he tried this Suboxone when he first went. Actually, he went 3 different times and quit. He could not make it with the Suboxone, but with the methadone, he did. Luckily. So, it was just a matter of tweaking to find out what works for you.
Exactly. You know what I say? This is what I have said on a regular basis, is a diabetic, they need their medicine, or an elderly, they might need their medicine. And I do
Right.
firmly believe that addiction is a disease, because the simple fact of the matter is some of us that struggle with addiction have to have maybe a Suboxone every day to function or stay clean or whatever, to get the cravings to go away, to have a normal life. And this is true. And a lot of people don't agree with that. But if you've ever been there in those shoes, then you understand where I'm coming from. You know what I
And,
mean?
that's why I asked the question earlier, because there's so many debates of whether addiction is a disease. And it is it's very hard to speak on addiction if you haven't walked through those shoes.
Exactly. Because people are so quick to judge. It's ridiculous. And sometimes if they put their self in our shoes, they would have seen the struggle. They would have been there. They would have been through things that they would have never imagined they've been through.
Right. And I was talking to a lady the other night, and, she said that her daughter was battling an addiction and that her daughter hated her. And I did not understand, this was before I even messed with drugs.
Exactly.
I didn't understand why my husband, a lot of his behaviors, I felt like he didn't care about his family. We weren't important to him. He didn't love us, but it wasn't that. And I had to explain to her, it is the addiction. It is the drug. It's not that she, doesn't love you, because he said some awful things that I'll never forget.
And if you are an addict, you will, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is drugs. That's the only, and that's sad to say, but it's true. The only thing that matters to you is drugs. No one matters.
Well, it consumes your whole life. From chasing it all day to finding something to worrying about if you have something to wake up to the next morning. It's an all day thing.
Yep. It consumes your whole life. Your whole life. And before you know it, you're, like I said, 33 years old with nothing. I live comfortable now, but there's been times I've lost everything. Because, I struggle with addiction. And it's sad but true. And not a lot of people would say that, but I've been there, done that. And right now I can happily say, yeah, it's working for me. But it is a constant struggle every single day.
Right. And the only thing you can worry about is today. You can't, dwell on yesterday or worry about tomorrow. You have to take it one day at a time.
You're exactly right. That's the only thing that you can do.
And I have, this last time I relapsed, it was really bad. It was, and my thing that this last time that I relapsed was because my great grandma passed away, which is who raised me. And then 4 months later, my children's father passed away. So I basically took them to numb that pain so I didn't have to deal with my emotions to cope with life. Right. And I found myself, yes, I, started back with the opiates, but I leaned more towards the benzos. I was taking 4 and 5 bars a day. I wasn't in touch with reality. I was just going through the motions of life.
You're exactly right. And I'll tell you, one thing that I struggle with, used to, was benzos too. And, unfortunately, I had a son that passed away from SIDS. And so ever since that happened, at the time I had a husband who stayed in prison 3 years out of the 5 that I was with him. But, I still continue to love him. But after that happened, I just literally lost it.
Right.
The only thing that I could do to ease the pain was to get high. That was it. That was it. At the time, I was so numb to anything. Drugs were it. That's what I thought, because it numbed the pain and let it go.
And I think a lot of people, end up getting addicted to medicine because they have been through traumas in their childhood that they haven't dealt with.
I totally agree.
Or, a lot of times you go to a doctor and you trust this doctor and they put you on this medication, but then you become addicted to it.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of different reasons why, it's not that they chose to fall into that lifestyle. It's just how it happened.
That's it. And you had said something earlier about it being genetic. I totally agree with you, because of the simple fact, okay, you take a child, maybe, possibly, even if it wasn't in the home, but let's say, for instance, if it were in the home, that watched these behaviors throughout its whole childhood up until a certain age, they're going to see what's going on, and they're going to see, oh, well, let's say dad gets upset, blah, blah, blah. And when dad gets upset, you know, maybe he drinks a beer, or maybe he does this, or maybe he gets drunk just to ease the pain. And you see that when you get older, you're going to be curious too. And then guess what? Once you hit that pain, you think, well, you know, my dad, he used to drink a little bit just to kind of ease the pain. Maybe I can do this. And, you know, by heck, it worked. And then bam, by the time you know it, you're a full blown addict. But I think that it is genetic too. I do. Most definitely. Are you still there?
I mean, I feel that. Yeah, I was thinking. I mean,
Oh, I do.
that doctor straight up told me. I mean, he looked, and I'll never forget that. He was like, "Look, if you don't get your kids in some sort of classes, then you know they're going to be an addict. Whether it be pills, alcohol, they're going to have some sort of addiction." And I mean, pills aren't only an addiction. You have sex addiction, porn addiction, shopping addiction, phone addiction, internet addiction. There's all kinds of addiction.
Yeah.
Not
I
just
agree with
a drug.
no, you're exactly.
And I am the black sheep out of my family. I came from a very well-known, high-class family. I was raised in a Christian home. So yeah,
Wow. We've got so much in common. That's crazy.
On my mom's side, and they
Right.
my grandma, they're all nurses, so I guess they understand the addiction part of it.
Yeah.
My grandma's a nurse, my mom's a nurse, my aunt's a nurse, my great grandma was a nurse, so they all have this medical knowledge. But and I also think there's a time that you have to have tough love, and I thought it killed me when my grandma told me, "No, your two kids can stay here, but you're not welcome," because I was like you. I lost everything I had but my house because it was paid for.
That's exactly. Hey, listen, I'll tell you what.
My
I grew up in a Christian
my car, I had 2 boats, 4-wheelers, anything and everything we wanted, we had it.
Yep, I agree. And everybody assumes sometimes that drug abuse comes from, bad childhoods. Well, maybe, I will agree with that. But I also think sometimes, drug addiction, it like you said, it can happen to that little Christian girl, that never got out and never got to experience anything, and
Curiosity
just maybe
killed the cat. And I think, I tell my grandma all the time, which I have a very open relationship with my daughter and my son, because of that. My curfew, I was 17 years old, a senior in high school, and my curfew was still 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
On the weekend. And if I wasn't in church, I didn't get to go out that next Saturday night.
Exactly.
So, of course, when I moved out, I was 17 when I graduated. I lived right next to Coastal Carolina University. So, of course, I went buck wild. I went to experiment with everything because I always had that tight leash on me.
And,
so I see both sides of that. And I've tried to, be kind of lenient with my daughter because I know what I went through and why I did the things I did.
Right. I'll tell you what, man, you're so true. Like, yay. That's why I like it, because you're real, man. Because honestly, like I said, I grew up in a Christian home. Like, I was in a broken home, though, kind of like from here to there and everywhere. And, like when I was 15 to 18 in high school, I wasn't allowed to date, wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I had a really tight leash on me. Once I got married, introduced to this guy, we kind of went from there. You know what I mean? And then just, but yeah.
And that's where, the drugs come into my life was after I moved out of high school and got to run the street. And it was, my children's daddy, which his stepdad was the biggest drug dealer around. And that's where the drugs came into play. Yep, where are you from, Chrissy?
I'm from Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. And
Kentucky,
I'll tell you what,
y'all, they were asking in the chat where you're from.
It's okay, but I'm from Eastern, and I'll tell you what, here in Eastern Kentucky, the drug epidemic is terrible. It's terrible.
I actually went to Kentucky not too long ago. My husband was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If y'all don't know, my husband is in federal prison for felon in possession of a firearm. And I went to, oh my gosh, let me see what the name of it was in Kentucky. Why can't I think of it? I actually vlogged on the way there and back.
Is he in a federal prison here in Kentucky?
He's left Kentucky now. This wasn't but just a couple months ago. He is in Georgia now, which I'm going this weekend. He's been in Kentucky twice in 2 different prisons.
Yeah, and it's hard for federal inmates too because they move you all around and you never know where they're.
Yes, he has been from Big Sandy is where he was at to start with, which is like a maximum security prison.
Now, Big Sandy Girl ain't but 30 minutes from me, so you know I'm.
Okay, that's where he was to start with, and he got stabbed 19 times and almost died there.
It's a bad prison, very, very.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was in the worst of the worst and that's where they threw him when they took him out of county. They went to Atlanta to process, and then they threw him right in Big Sandy.
Wow.
So that's where he started off his sentence at.
Isn't that crazy? And where are you at? What state are you?
I'm in South Carolina.
South Carolina, and he was all the way in Kentucky. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He's been to Kentucky twice. He's been to Bennettsville. He's been to Georgia. I mean, they have just transferred Oklahoma, Mississippi. I mean, they don't care how far you are away from your family.
No, they don't care nary bit. Like, no. That's the last thing on their mind is what you think, you know. That's the bad thing about prison and being with somebody in prison is, you know, federal, I could only imagine, you know, but like state prisons or whatever, oh, it's a headache. I'm telling you, girls, if you ever had a man in prison, you know what we're talking about. It is bad. And you got to send money all the time, and you got to visit.
Lexington is where he was at.
Where at now?
The second time, Lexington.
Oh, okay. Now, Lexington's about an hour and a half away from me.
That's where I went. It was Father's Day, matter of fact, where I went.
Well, that wasn't too long ago. You know, honey, I want to address something. I'm just saying, because I'm just that type of person. But I'm the one that asked a while ago, you know, or told you about. Listen, I watched that video, and Miss Tragically Tricia, oh girl, what a mess. She totally, and this is just my opinion, but she looked like she just kind of dramatically threw herself on your vehicle. You know what I mean?
Oh, she did. I'm stating this for the record, you know, I did not run her over. If I wanted to run her over, I would have hit the gas and flattened her ass, okay? Hit her at all. She did that. And that's why she has the charges to follow.
Oh, for real? Good for you. Yeah. Good for you. Because I'm going to tell you something. That girl is...
Tammy, that would be interesting. I'm very interested in the gun control. I think it is bull crap. The guns that he was actually charged with were legal in my name and locked in a safe. So, yeah.
Bless your heart. But, yeah, I don't know. Guys in prison, I bet you have a lot of stress on your shoulders.
It is. I was, you know, going to do a vlog this weekend when I go. Like I tell you, it feels like I've stopped living completely. I gained almost 100 pounds since he's been gone. Oh, just because of depression.
Yeah.
Life was took from me. We have 5 kids together, and when he left, we had all 5 kids. You know, we had everything we wanted. And then, of course, you know, after 6 months, his mother filed for custody of his children, and I lost them.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I still have contact with them, but, you know, it's different. They had lived with us for 2 years consecutive.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And everything's, you know, changed. And, you know, my children's daddy, he passed away. So, you know, now their stepdaddy's been taken from them. He was sentenced to 60 months. So he's been gone since 2014.
Oh,
so
gosh.
we're on the last little bit. He gets out to go to halfway house in July. So we're almost through it, but it's been hard. And then I'm alone. I don't have family.
Right.
My mom lives in Texas. My dad's passed away.
So you do it by yourself.
Right. I'm here by myself. You know, like I said, their daddy passed away. 9 months later, their grandma passed away. So it's just me. And then, you know, when I got diagnosed with cancer, it was already stage 3 going into stage 4.
Right.
And here I am with 2 children who I drive back and forth to school because they go to a different school district. Because that's where they want to go and that's where I take them.
Right.
you know, if it weren't for my daughter, she's the one who helped me through it. And, you know, it's just like I was hit with everything while he's gone. And it was, you know, it just threw me in a deep depression. And I thank God every day that I have not relapsed and turned back, you know, to cover those
Absolutely.
feelings.
Absolutely. Just to numb the pain and make it go away.
Exactly.
But you know what, though? You got to stay strong, because you remember you've got 5 kids and a husband, you know, and when he comes out, you can be the strong one for him. You know what I mean?
And then, you know, I have my children, you know, when they hurt, I hurt. Then I think about, you know, he's been incarcerated for, it'll be 4 years. And,
Wow.
you know, but then being incarcerated for 4 years, of course, he's going to have, you know, some type of mental incarceration going on there. Plus,
Right.
he's got PTSD from him being stabbed. He still wakes up, you know, screaming in the middle of the night, this and that. So I'm wondering, you know, how big of a challenge is it going to be for him to adapt back to normal society?
Well, now I'm going to tell you this. Like, I don't like
And
putting
him
my
not
business.
relapse on top of that.
Exactly. I'm not trying to put my business out there or anything, but you know, I can tell you this. My husband now did serve 8 flat years in prison, and got out state prison, and just got out 3 years ago. And him adjusting back was hard, very, very hard, because you can imagine you're away for a decade and you had all these buddies, so-called buddies and friends, and you get out and they see you and they're like, "Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?" And everything has changed. Either they're strung out, who knows, you know, everything has
Right.
changed. And, you know, it took him a good year just to, or 6 months, I know for a fact, just to even get comfortable with being at the house, being able to go out the door, you know, all that. And he's still struggling with being institutionalized a little bit at the moment, but he's slowly coming out of it. And that's a long process. You just got to be patient. You just have to be patient. That's all I know to say.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, you know, it was just last night. I was like, you think the struggle is real now? I said, the real struggle is going to be, I mean, I said, right now, you have to do what you're doing. You know, you have this routine schedule. You know what's going on day to day. I said, and then, you know, the real struggle is going to be when you get out, putting our life back together.
That's it. Because
And then, of course, you know, he does have the question of, you know, have I been loyal to him? Have I cheated on him? And any man, you know, is going to have that.
yeah.
So, and I mean, he is a very jealous
Anybody
person.
that's been there, done that, has a significant other, and you can't get to him. I mean, you're gonna honestly, that's the first thing you're gonna think of. You know, honestly, you know what I'm
Right.
talking
And
about.
I mean, I actually, my first visit was Father's Day in Kentucky. So the
Oh, wow.
first 3 years when he left county, I did not
Yeah.
get to see him. They would not approve my visitation.
Wow. Wow. So
So
how
we
long
went
was?
a long time. The only thing, you know, we had to communicate was, of course, you know, they have the text, email that he sends. And then, you know, he gets 300 minutes a month phone calls. That was it. And letters.
Wow.
He had
Love is
no
hard.
visit from nobody in 3 years until Father's Day was the first time that I was, you know, they finally approved me to see him.
Oh my. You know that had to be hard. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And then, you know, of course, my kids, when he was here in county, we were there twice a week.
Yeah.
And, you know, then all of a sudden, all communication is cut off except for a 15-minute phone call every other day with them.
See,
So, I mean, it was hard on all of us.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you take somebody that you live with, lock them away in a cell, and you can't do anything but listen to someone tell you what to do. It's hard. It's very hard. Very hard, you know, because you can't make that call anymore. You have to wait for the guard or whoever to make that call. You can't make that decision.
And I don't even want to get started in prison politics. I mean, that's just like when he got stabbed. I knew something was wrong because, you know, he emails me every morning when he wakes up. And I didn't hear from him. They did not even contact me to let me know what was going on. It was January the 15th, 15 days later, when he finally got back out of ICU before I even knew what happened.
Oh my God. He got stabbed how many?
19 times.
Jesus, that big Cindy. Wow. Wow. That's,
Yeah.
you know. Good gracious. All over,
I
and
mean,
it was your gun, right? You said. I mean,
yeah, but the reason he got stabbed is, when they say snitches get stitches and found in ditches, okay,
Yep.
the federal prison does not allow you to get your PSI, which is your pre-sentence report.
I know.
It shows whether, you cooperated or what have you in that paperwork.
Right.
I couldn't just mail it straight in to him. They don't allow it that way.
Right.
So I took a different measure to get it to him. It was a day late.
Right.
So
Bless
they
your
jumped on him. They only give you so many days to show your paperwork, and I'm talking about to the other prisoners in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To
And
show,
if you can't,
to prove that you're not a snitch or you're
you
not
can't,
a child molester or what have you.
if you can't prove yourself in there, oh man, they will.
You have no accountability, no nothing. You're not, and that just shows he got stabbed 19 times because the papers were a day late.
Wow.
That's what
And
he got stabbed over.
Some of the prisoners in there literally have nothing to lose. Nothing.
Which we have a lawsuit against now because, like I said, that was at Big Sandy. They threw him into Big Sandy. They had his points messed up, misdesignated. He never should have been there. Stabbings happen all the time, yes. But in this case, he was not supposed to be on that yard. He was in a maximum security, the highest of the high, which they call the pen.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in a medium to low, which he's in a medium now. So now they have it in his paperwork that he cannot, be transferred to a max. But he never should have been there to start with, because that's where, the dangerous of the dangerous ones are with the long, sentences.
Yep. You're exactly right. That's true. And I don't blame you for putting a lawsuit on him. I don't at all.
He could have died. He seriously can. And he said, the only reason he didn't was because a guard found him in time.
Guess what? Corrections, you know what they're going to say? Well, oops, my bad. But nothing will be done about it. But hopefully in your lawsuit it will. You know what I mean? But
the only thing that's helping him is that he was, not designated to the correct place.
Exactly.
If that wouldn't have happened, then we wouldn't have been able to do anything.
That's good. That's real good. That was smart thinking for real. 18 times. Oh my gosh. He's lucky.
And just all the red tape I have to go through out here getting stuff done. It's not like you can just make a phone call and bam, something's done. Even, to sending money, the phone calls, or like they said, he had this pending charge from years and years ago. So I had to go to the courthouse, get this paper. I couldn't mail it. They had to mail it in. It's just never ending with the prison system.
I know it.
It's crazy.
And the worries will never end. Bless his heart. Bless your heart until he comes home. And that's the truth. Because that's the other half of your heart. And I'm telling you, you're going to fight till the death. But Lord knows, I know how it's stressful. It's very stressful. It's a lot of weight to carry on your shoulders.
And I always say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I've been through the things I have. Had I not been through them, I wouldn't be, as strong and independent as I am. Hey, Amanda, I just saw you, Mandy.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. If anybody said hi, hey. But, yeah, you just stay strong. That's what you need to do. Stay strong, and you already know what to do. God Almighty, you've already got years of this, under your belt. So you got this. You just got to stay positive, stay clean, keep your head clear.
Did you say you were married now, or you have a boyfriend? Is that what you say? I can't remember what you said.
I'm married.
You're married now?
Yep. And the guy, like I said, the guy that I was with, he done 8 flat year, yeah. And you're gonna struggle, like I said, with him coming home, but it'll be okay. He'll come back. He'll snap out of it. He might be a little edgy or might have a little routine that he'll do every day, but he'll eventually come back.
Well, I noticed, before he was even sentenced, he spent 21 days in county before at first they denied his bond. And it was such an adjustment for him just being in there that 21 days. I was like, I can only imagine how it's going to be
I know.
after 4 years.
Yeah. Well, listen, sometimes I look at my husband and I'm just like, 8 years. That's a decade. 8 years. That's a long time. That's a really long time. You know what
And
I
are
mean?
you still with your husband that
Yep.
oh,
We're
okay.
still. Yep. He's doing good. He you know, he kind of keeps to himself. You know what I mean? But he's doing good now. He really is. It's been 3 years he's been home, and he's doing really good for himself. He's went through a lot since
That's
he's been
good.
home. A lot, but he's doing really good. He stays out of trouble. He picked a hobby that he loves to do, which is roosters, and he just kind of deals with them all day, you know?
Well, see, that was Chad's thing. He had chickens, he had pigs, he had all these animals when he was home. And he
Yeah.
just brought this up, I think it was night before last. And if you go on here, if you look up RDAP Dan,
Uh-huh.
I talk with him a lot. He's actually a prison consultant.
Uh-huh.
He come home and started his own business
Oh, wow.
with federal prison because, you know, the pre-sentencing and you going in front of the judge and the narrative you write and stuff is so important. And the lawyers don't tell you stuff like that. You know, things you need to prepare for before you do go to court. But anyway, I got off subject. I enjoy watching him and the After Prison Show, which is Joe Guerrero. I watch him too.
Oh, cool.
You know, you can just relate to him. You know what I mean? If you've been there.
Yeah.
Both of them went to prison and they come home and they got YouTube channels. But anyways, he had all these animals, and Chad just said, you know, not before last, he's like, man, I've lost everything. All my animals are gone. I was like, Chad, I'm a single mom. Do you really think I can keep up all your animals out there? No, I got rid of them. I was like, you know, you can start over when you get home. So he loves the animal thing too.
Because
and
if
that was
he doesn't
him.
honest and true, we tried it without his roosters. And I know this sounds really stupid probably to a lot of people, but it's his hobby, you know what I mean? So whenever there was a point where we kind of went through a rough patch whenever we first got together and he didn't have any chickens. And I'm going to tell you something. When they don't have their hobby fresh out of prison, see, he didn't even go to a halfway house. He came straight home. So, yeah. So with that being
and
said,
see, that's what I'm kind of glad of. You know, he's got that 6 months transition at the halfway house.
He's going to need it. So you may
to
not
kind of feel it out before we bam right back, you know, because you know everybody has arguments, every marriage, no marriage is perfect. But you know, I don't do the arguing in front of my kids.
No.
So I feel like, you know, that's going to give him a little time to transition before, you know, he is completely back home.
Yep.
And he's got 3 years ankle monitor too, so he's got to walk that straight line, and he knows it.
And he can do it though. If he's really willing to change after so many years of him being in there, he'll do it. I promise.
And that's what really sucks so bad. I mean, he had like misdemeanors, you know, when he was in his addiction. And, you know, Chad had finally been clean almost 3 years and then caught this charge. And I was, you know, he's like, wow, why now out of all time? You know what I mean? But it's because Horry County wanted him so bad. He was, you know, known for that because of his addiction. And anything they could do to pin him to the wall, they did. And that's why they turned it over and let the feds take it with the gun.
Right.
But like he said, you know, I guess I had to pay, you know, for the things I've done in my past that he's never, you know, been to prison over anything.
Right. Now, you're exactly right. My old man, that's what we call them, sorry girls in the South. My husband.
Yeah. My old man, I feel something.
My old man, though, he, oh God, I totally forgot what we were talking about. What was it? What did you just say?
About him getting in trouble, you know, as he was coming up and not having to pay for it.
So with that being said, my own, you know, he done things he wasn't proud of. He actually went to state prison for a gun charge too. So that's why I'm saying me and you relate on a lot. But with that being said, you know, here recently, we had something that was done to us, and it just felt kind of like karma because maybe with the bad past that we, you know, he might have used to have or whatever, we had our truck stolen right out of our driveway like 2 or 3 days ago, right? And we had to go get it back from this guy that's on drugs really bad down the street from us. Well, you could tell he was anyway. But he had stole our truck right out of our driveway, literally. So with that being said, you know, karma will always come back and bite you in the ass. But I think that's another way of God's way and showing him, you know, hey, you're not like them anymore. You know what I mean? You've grown up a little bit.
And that's
And
my thing, you know, with Trisha too. She always wants to drag everybody for having a criminal record. No, honey, you have done some criminal things. You just ain't been caught yet. But your day's coming.
exactly right. That's exactly right. And honey, she'll get caught up in every bit of it. That's just like shoot the shit. Okay, I sat here one night. I was new to YouTube. I didn't have many subscribers. This was probably about a month ago. And they came at my channel and just assumed it, like Trisha does too. They just assume things. So they look at my page and think it's roosters, you know, rooster fights, pretty much. And all it is my husband. He loves roosters. You know, we might use slang with our roosters, but if anybody knows what roosters are, they brag about them, and that's just how it is.
I know my best friend that passed away in January. I've seen him pay $200-300 for a rooster. Did he do rooster fighting? Yes, he did.
Yeah,
But I mean, there is big money in them roosters.
And they are, honey. I'm telling you, we've got a lot of roosters on our yard, and all of them, they're not. We don't have any chickens under $100. Like they are one out there that we have a trio that's probably about $1,000 just for 3 birds. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's a hobby. But at the end of the day, don't assume that you know who I am just based on pictures on my or videos on my page. You know what I mean? Because I post them for him so he can be proud of it. But I also get on here and watch you and you know, other show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like Trisha, back to that though. You know, you can't assume things. And the things that she's going to eventually be caught and she will be charged. I mean, it is what it is with her. She's just that naive girl who pretends and she's fake and thinks she knows it all, and she doesn't know anything. Nothing. You know, it's really like today. Now, I don't mean to talk about her, but it is what it is. So today I was watching one of her streams because it popped up, and I'm just like, I wonder what this crazy woman's doing today. So I looked at it, right? And she was sitting there talking about her daughter had got into like the army, and she was like so happy, right? But yet she was trying to cry, but a tear never came out. You know what I mean? Fake all over. Fake. And that's just my opinion. Some people may not agree, but I just...
Well, I mean, it's just like when CPS showed up today. Who slams the door in their face if you're not guilty of anything? If I'm not guilty, I'm going to say, come on in, have a seat. What you want to talk about?
Yeah, I know, right? And with that being said, she also...
You're making it worse on yourself.
First thing she told her daughter was, yay, now you can be emancipated. You don't have to worry about CPS. And it's just like, are you serious? Why would you have to worry about them in the first place? You know what I mean?
Exactly. My family, I'm sorry, but they're more important than anything. I mean, like I said, she ain't worth no charge to me, because if I would have got out that car, I believe she would have shit her pants. But I'm not catching no more charges unless it's over my kids.
Right.
Not happening.
I'll tell you what, she just like fake all the way around. Like, I think a lot of her things are staged, and I'll be, you know,
I've said that from the get-go. I've said it, you know, it's when that camera comes on, she knows it's showtime. Kaylee says, did you catch how she said only Dr. Phil himself could tell her not to live stream and she would listen? I guess her kids and husband aren't important.
I did.
Okay, but did you also catch her say that social media people get famous from being on Dr. Phil? That's all she wants, guys, is the fame. If you notice, she is constantly obsessed with numbers. How many thumbs up, how many thumbs down, how many viewers. That's just like she was tickled to be able to get super chat.
Right.
But when, you know, she lost those, right at 200 subscribers in 10-15 minutes, you could tell she was heartbroken. Right. Which I've never been subscribed to her. I mean, when you start, you know, making videos and stuff, and, you know, there's a lot of people that do not care for Trisha. And it's not that they're jealous or hate on her. It is because she has affected people in their real lives.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I'll tell you, I just have a hard time dealing with people that are fake. I just can't do it. I just can't. You know? Listen, how long are you going to be on here?
I don't know. However, if you want to come back on,
click something real quick. How can I put on hold and come back or whatever?
Did you say you have Twitter?
No, baby. No? It's in the Google thing.
Okay. I'm gonna put my email address right here in the chat. Do you have the chat up?
Yeah. No, hold on.
I'm going to put my email address on there. And when you get finished, you can just email me. And if I'm not on, then we can come back on together.
Yes,
and
can
finish talking.
I just go back into my email and get that old one
Yep.
that you just sent me?
Yep,
Okay,
you
that's
can
what
do
I'll
that.
do. Okay, y'all. See y'all in a minute.
Thank you. It was good talking to you.
It was good talking to you, but I will be back.
All right.
All right, bye.
Kaylee, you can come on now if you want to. You, guys, y'all don't have to show your face. You can turn your camera off and I'll just show your picture. That's because I'm in here cleaning up a mess, so I turned it off. All I need, you have Twitter, don't you? I can send it to you on Twitter or your email. I've never said one wrong word to Trisha, and I can prove it. You know, Redneck, I never came at her either. Never. I've never been, what does she say? Go after me, come after me. I've never done that. I've always stayed neutral and tried to see where she's coming from. And bye, Judith. Thank you for coming. And I am going to, you know, addiction is a really big part of my life. I'm going to try to live stream like at least twice a week about it if anyone would like to come on. And the reason I started my channel was because of my husband being locked up, because that is 4 years, you know, that he's missed of, you know, whether it be football games or what have you. So I have a lot of videos and pictures and stuff, and a lot of stuff I have on, you know, private that just he can see. I'm getting ready to send it to you, Kaylee. Let's see. Go to Twitter. Let me see if I can find you. Wow, really? Kaylee, I'd like for you to talk about that. I thought that was legal. Will you type your username? I can't find you on here. Yeah, Redneck, if you don't conform and agree to exactly everything she says, or even if you ask a question and she finds it out of the way, you're blocked. Blocked. Hashtag blocked. Okay. I was watching you when you said that to her. And that's the thing. I mean, she makes up whatever she believes in her head. She really believes it to be true. It doesn't matter if you put the proof right in front of her face. It doesn't make a difference. I don't get it. All right, Kaylee, I'm going to send you the link now. Let it go. Do-do-do. All right, it should be there, Kaylee. Pulling the chat back up. Close that. Chat. There we go. All right, let's see. I was blocked over a year ago because I asked for. Yeah, I don't even chat. I don't really watch it either. I mean, it's not. I don't find it entertaining at all. But I mean, it's like a train wreck. A lot of people, you know, when you see a wreck on the road, everybody's gonna stop and look. That's why. Yeah, she went after Amy Slayton hard, and now she's recently she started going after Amy May, and Amy May don't even pay her no attention. Here, I'm gonna let run this. I'm gonna drop the link here. If anybody wants to come in, you just click it, and then I can delete it. Right. I mean, that's why I like to keep this open. Everyone, you know, I've always said opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And, you know, you have the right to say what you want. I don't delete comments or block anybody. Y'all, it's not that deep. She's here. Let's see. Are you muted, baby? You got to have headphones, earbuds or headphones, Kaylee. Or I say that. I don't on my Android phone I didn't have to, but on my iPhone or my computer I do. Right. I agree, Redneck. You got your headphones? I don't hear you. Do you have a microphone on your headphones? It's got to have a microphone on it, like the ones that you use for talking on the phone. You can try to unplug them and see if it works. Sometimes on my Android phone it did when I was in Les's live stream the other day. You can unplug them and see if your speaker will work. Yeah, I went and bought me some new ones for my laptop yesterday. Did you unplug your earbuds and put it on speaker? Are you on the phone or computer? I hear something in my earbuds. You're on the computer. Yeah, you'll have to have just get you a pair of earbuds that has a mic on it. I got mine from Walmart. They got them at the dollar store, and you can come on anytime. Anybody else want to come on? You can just click the link. I don't even know if mine will work without the headphones. Mine won't work without the headphones either. Do you have a cell phone? If you have a cell phone, you can get on it. Get on through your cell phone. You just have to download the Google Hangout app. Y'all, it's almost 8 o'clock. I enjoy talking with y'all. What do y'all think about, I do want to say this while I'm on here. Katie, Miss Fucking Wonderful, has never, ever, ever said anything about Ron Stay Negative's parenting skills. Yeah, just get you, I've just got the regular earbuds with a mic that you use like with your phone talking. Or you can get you that, or use a cell phone and download the Google Hangout app, and you can talk that way through your cell phone. You're more than welcome to come on. Anybody can come on anytime, voice their opinion, talk about whatever. But I did want to say I heard, something about that being said, that Katie, was talking about Ron's parenting skills or judging him as if he's a good or bad parent or whatever. No, she's never said anything about his parenting skills. She just said, that he uses, the child as a crutch for whatever. Thank you, darling. Yeah, just get some. Come on anytime. Just message me on Twitter. And do you have a channel? Let me click on your name. Let's see. There was that, and what else? There was something else I wanted to talk about. I was actually going to make a video about it. But y'all, videos take so much time. You got to record them and then edit them, and then it takes forever to upload them. It's so much easier doing a live stream. I just subbed to your channel, Kaylee. But yeah, I want to hear about that. Yeah, I saw that about your dad being locked up for spice. I thought spice, I mean, you can order spice over the internet. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. How old are you, Kaylee? $30? You look so young. Did anyone see the live stream or get any messages about the Pizzagate? That now we know, which I already knew that Marla did not order that pizza, y'all. No, who's got time to sit around and do that? And that's the thing. I mean, you might have 5 people talking in the chat, and you can tell last night she's got a lot of hate watchers. But then again, you never know who is watching. You don't know. And if you didn't see the stream, Crystal, the lady that worked at the pizza place, came on and talked with Marla. And like she said, there's only a pinch of pepper put in the whole big old thing of pizza sauce they make. So there's no way there could have been a reaction to pepper. And then on top of that, it was a lady, you know, that called it in and then asked for Sprite. And then there was a male in the background when she asked, will Sierra miss work? But I've also been told by a couple of people that she admitted that she ordered the pizza and had forgot that she ordered it. So, I mean, I just think a lot of it is for views, guys. I mean, that's why she's constantly checking numbers. Exactly. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. None whatsoever. And I do want to say this, you know, the big controversy, you know, did she send nudes to Takedown Man? Y'all, if she will get on a live stream and film herself taking a shower, then there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that she does not have a problem sending nudes. She'll get on live stream and, you know, film that for the world, then of course they've already seen everything anyways. Yeah. And that's basically that's what it is, Kaylee. I mean, it pretty much is. But I also think, you know, she's the one that, you know, silence is deadly. And if nobody paid her no attention, she wouldn't get the attention. You know what I mean? But she's the type that, you know, we've actually tried that, not discussing it at all or anything. But then, you know, it's like she targets a person. And it comes to the point where it affects them in their real day-to-day life. Exactly. But then, you know, that's when she chooses that target and goes after them hard to the point, you know, where who sits there and does, I mean, that's just like about looking up the layout of Miss Fairy Garden's house. Who does that? You want to talk about stalking, honey? I don't care what kind of house you live in. I mean, are you really going to look up and see what all they own when their taxes are due? I mean, that's just craziness. What do you own? Nothing. Nothing. You don't own your house. You don't own your car. You don't own nothing. You don't have a job. And anybody that can go to the gym and say they rode 20 miles on a bicycle can get off their butt and work. Well, and that's what I'm saying, Kaylee. I mean, you can be quiet all you want, but then that's just like last night she was bringing B and Randy up. B and Randy don't pay her no attention. They don't talk about her in live streams. They don't talk about her in chat. They don't. I mean, she needs to keep their name out of her mouth. Those are like the 2 sweetest people I've ever met. Randy, I mean, I remember when she made her first vlog of her and her daughter, you know, on the way to work. It's when she first started her channel. And I've always said, you know, the people that I do watch, you know, you relate to them somehow. There's something, you know, that draws you to them because you can relate to them. It's either something, you know, they've been through or something about their personality. And And Miss B, I love her dad. She reminds me a lot. And it's not her age. I'm not saying she's old because she's not much older than me. But there's a lot of her traits and qualities that remind me of my grandma. And my heart and my intentions are a lot like hers. I think I can fix everybody. I'm a very giving person. And I saw Sugar talking about that. Everybody, if y'all haven't subbed to Sugar's new, he's got a second channel now, sub to it. I didn't get to watch the video before she put the strike. I didn't get to see the video, but I saw him talking about, you know, he got a strike. Hey, Poppy, you want to come on? I know you'll come on. And Sugar is, you know, Trish used to be, you know, adore Sugar. And just because, you know, he said she was wrong and didn't agree, just because he said he didn't agree with her actions, you know, it's like, oh, F him. And that's crazy. I mean, I've always said everyone can agree to disagree. I can do that. I may not like everything you do, but that doesn't mean that I don't like you, you know, as a person. And I always try to find the good in everyone. And I've always said, you know, if she were to use the things that she's been through, you know, she says that she has a lot of hurt from her childhood. Well, use that hurt, you know, to try to help others. What you need, son?
I need to search something up on the computer when you get done with that.
The tablet charged. What do you need to search?
No, not a tablet.
What do you need to search on the computer?
I want to look up a game.
Look up a game. We're not putting no games on here.
I know.
Has your sister played her new game? Papa Red, you still in here? Hunter, what was the name of that game Haley got? My daughter got some new. She got a video game yesterday. So, what was the name of that game Haley got? Overwatch. She watches. What's the name of that girl? She watches SS Sniper Wolf. Is that her name? Something like that. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to jump off here and get a shower. My husband should be calling within the next 30 minutes. Every time. Hers is Haley with an H, which I have a lisp, so it probably sounds like Haley. I spelled hers Haylee, and then my son's is Hunter, but I spelled his Hunner. So, I appreciate everyone coming, and I'm going to jump off here and get my shower and stuff, make sure that he's ready for bed. And then I'll come back on probably about 9 o'clock. And if anyone wants to come on, you are more than welcome to. And let's see, tomorrow's Friday, which I'll do a live stream sometime over the weekend. Like I said, I am going to Georgia to see him, and I'll do, you know, the vlog there. And I will catch y'all later. I hope y'all have a good evening. And thank you all for your support. Thank you, Kaylee. And I'll talk with y'all later. Bye, guys. Why are you dabbing? You are crazy, son. You're bored?
I don't want to play on my game.
Has Haley been playing on?